Hello there. The clocks went back last night, so today marks the end of the beautiful summer of 2019 and the beginning of the winter. It's only 5 short months since I was first filming in this beautiful park in a very excited and astonished fashion that I was back here, and I could never have predicted the events of the time that was to follow, but I don't regret a second of it. It's been a fantastic time in my life, albeit relatively bittersweet, but ain't that just life's tagline sometimes? This year, and especially this last 7 months, have acquainted me with the aspects of my personality which are changeable, and it's also made me very, very aware of the parts of myself that seem unbreakable, self-destructive yet quite unbreakable. And there's nothing like a period of mourning or bereavement, grieving, to get you to know yourself a little bit better. I'm fascinated by the whole notion of love and the human condition, and how quickly we can go from never having clapped eyes on another human being to being so deeply in love, or loving them so deeply, whichever it may be. And it seems amazing looking back to when I watched all of this foliage now that is falling to the ground and reaching the end of this period of its life, that back when it was all new, back when all these shoots were green, that things were happening in my life, that we're going to have a very, very rapid life cycle, a very rapid spring, summer, autumn and winter. And the strength of feeling that has proved itself to be a reality, because it can take a situation where somebody has to pass, somebody has to leave this mortal realm for you to work out just how highly they figured on your love list. And I wouldn't have believed that somebody who, when I first vlogged from this park, who was just entering my life, that they would exit within 5 months, just how they would leave the biggest gap in my life that I have ever felt. It's a void of monumental proportions, and the way in which that life and that death have given me such an intimate knowledge of the breakable and unbreakable aspects of my personality. Yeah, time is a strange one. Somebody who I hadn't even met 8 months ago, that I'm broken-hearted and grieving so deeply for. I guess as the popular old lyric goes, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. I was at a point in my life over this last year where I was perfectly aware of the concept of nurture and the concept of how fragile our connections with people can be. And I feel that I was definitely gifted this year to offer me some value and some weight to a relationship that was just about to start in my life, and was all too quickly going to come to an earthly conclusion, if you know what I mean. And had this happened 5 years ago, it would have meant potentially so much less to me. But yeah, this year and my experiences have changed me so much, and I'm so grateful for this having happened when it did. There's a lot of the things that have happened in the last decade, like the birth of my daughter in 2011, and this particular difficult time in my life, that had they happened any sooner, I wouldn't have been the right person to be dealing with it. You know, I'm not suggesting I'm dealing with things well now, but I do understand the power and the value of love, life, and and loss and everything that goes with it. But yeah, it's a tough lesson to have to deal with, but never underestimate how you feel about any given situation. Separation from it can result in elation, as I've had as well in my life in the past, you know, where get yourself away from a situation that was damaging you and how wonderful you feel, and you know, just how a person who on the surface just became such a regular and accepted part of your average day, and then they're not there anymore, and you realise that what is essentially just a small human-sized cutout is in fact a void of universally deep and large proportions. I understand this world and I understand this life so much better than I did 7 months ago, but what a high price to pay. And I'm all too aware of the terms I'm using. What a high price to pay. Looking at it from my own point of view and how it's affected me, and how loss and bereavement have affected me. I'm very aware of the fact that we're all very self-centered and almost subconsciously obsessed with self-preservation, but it is the only way that we know how to value the love and losses in life, is by how it directly affects us. And I think that there are some ways in which I can see that I have grown a bit, and that I look at other people now, not just how this has affected me. I do primarily, to a good 90%, look at how it's affected me. Don't get me wrong, I haven't changed for the better to any great extent, but I look at other people and I cry and I mourn for them. And that is a whole new thing for me. That is something I've never experienced before, being able to look at people and genuinely empathise, because I understand the exact direct pain that they're going through, exactly where they are in life and how they're feeling. But especially when I look at my daughter and the wonderful relationship she had with the woman that we're both mourning right now, and it genuinely does upset me and break my heart so much. There's a whole lot of realisations that have come out of this time that have made me realise that the slightly darker aspects of my personality, some of them are either there to stay, or they're going to take a hell of a lot more of a battering from life for me to wise up. But I do try to look on the positive of everything that's occurred in the last 2 months. Because it'd be all too easy to become very self-absorbed to the extent of just being consumed by feeling sorry for yourself or feeling sorry for myself. But it's giving me pause for thought about the aspects of myself that have definitely improved, but have taken tragedy to inspire or force me into a situation where my mind just clicks into a different position. And the aspects of myself that I think are slightly less palatable, that I'm not so proud of, that I often think, what will it take for me to wise up, you know, about those things that probably need to change, but it always takes massively dark events to ever get me to be able to get out of my own sort of personal, arrogant, egotistical bubble. And I do often wonder just what it takes. As yet another song implies, what a difference a day makes, 24 little hours. You can have your own interpretation on that. I always think of what Brian May says about having made the song Fat Bottom Girls and knowing that a gay man, Freddie Mercury, would be singing it. And he always says, we knew what it meant to Freddie, you know, and I kind of like that. And much the same with 24 little hours, you can have your own interpretation of what that means, and for me that 24 little hours is 7 months. 7 months from spring to the very first day of winter. And just the amount that the 2 seasons that have transpired since moving back here, just how much has changed. I can remember coming to this park and just thinking, yep, I'm back. It's just me and my daughter, but I'm back. And I couldn't have dreamed of the bounty of wonderful times and love and friendship that came my way that have gone now. It meant the world to me. I came here and my expectations were that I might really at best be able to hope for a situation where I'm sharing a bedsit with, as I have done in the past, and the general sort of intake of people who have those places in my experience have been 50-something alcoholics with a heart and a head full of pain and regret. But it couldn't have been further from the truth, and one of the most precious souls that has ever come my way into my life, and all too quickly left again. And yeah, 24 little hours, 7 little months, 7 days and 1 week. You know, there are so many individual interpretations in art and what have you that talk about those sort of tiny amounts of time that change everything. And yeah, I was a very different man 7 months ago to the guy who you're looking at right now. I'm not a found soul. I'm not a born again wonderful person, but I'm definitely a more mindful and aware person of the darker aspects of my personality, more willing to take criticism, sit back and listen to people when they've got stuff to say to me and about me. And yeah, 24 little hours. What a difference a day makes.